Hi everybody, welcome to this segment on burn down charts, right? In Agile, we look at the methodology of how do we complete a project and document our process along the way. In Agile, we want to look at communicating and making our processes transparent. And a lot of the ways we do that is by showing that documentation, making things transparent to our stakeholders. If we look at this sample burn down chart here, right, you have the remaining effort or hours on the left, and then you have the days on the x-axis, right? And so you'll notice the yellow boxes, that's completed task, right? The amount of work that was done, and then this was the completed task that takes up our project, right? Then you have your remaining effort, right? Breaking that down, and I'm going to break this down a little bit more over the next couple slides. So, the y-axis, it's the amount of work to be done or the total scope of a project. Your x-axis represents time, usually in days or sprints. Now, when we look at the ideal burn down line, it's a diagonal line from the total work to be done to zero work left. And essentially, it's breaking down and showing that trajectory of when the work was completed. And so we actually have the actual burn down line on the bottom part. That's the amount of work to be completed over time. Now, you ask yourself, why do Scrum Masters and Agile professionals use burn down charts? Well, these charts offer valuable insights into the team efficiency and help in making data-driven decisions. They provide tracking data and visualizing the progress of work in a sprint or project. Now, a few factors I want you to take in mind on why we show this. It enables teams to identify potential issues early, especially when you're talking about product development. Factor 2, it's going to adjust approach to problems in real time. So we can adjust fire, if you will, and see a different approach in real time. And then we get to see and deliver higher quality products on time to the customer because we can see all these factors. Now, we can use burn down charts to visually track the project progress over time, ideal for Agile and Scrum teams, to ensure alignment with the sprint goals and timelines. We can identify trends. When we identify trends, we can spot trends in the completion rate, recognizing potential issues or deviations from the planned projected timeline. We can, in Six Sigma, we usually can blend this into a regression analysis to see how the X and Y correlate. So the performance assessment, we can evaluate team performance against the expected work of pace. We can pinpoint areas for improvement and optimization. When we talk about the next topic, which is transparency and communication, we can ensure transparency by sharing real-time data with our stakeholders. We can facilitate communication on project status, fostering collaboration and early. So if we go to the next one, we have early issue detection, right? This is where we detect issues early in the project lifecycle. And it enables proactive problem solving and adjustments to stay on course. When we talk about the sprint planning phase, it's an integral part for sprint planning. It helps us set realistic goals and expectations for the upcoming sprint. The decision-making support, it provides data for informed decision-making. And it helps us in adjusting strategies, resource allocations, and project priorities. When we talk about continuous improvement, when we utilize burn down charts, it lets us get a feedback type mechanism. This supports continuous improvement by learning from past sprints or past historical data of the meetings. When you can look at your meetings and say, hey, this is when we completed this and at this time frame, and this is with this people. Okay, you can start to kind of understand your process a little bit more when you can track the data. I usually say you can't manage what you don't measure, and that's exactly right. Now, at the end of the day, the purpose is how the sprint burndown chart is used by the Scrum team during development. We can use real-time progress tracking. We can provide a visual representation of the work completed versus the work remaining. When we look at goal alignment, when we align our goals with the company vision and mission, we can ensure that everyone has the shared understanding of the task to be accomplished. When we talk about issues and identification, we can facilitate early identification of issues, and we can change the impact those have on the sprint success. In decision support, we can assist the team in making informed decisions regarding the scope, workload, and priorities during the sprint. The next one is continuous improvement, in which we can offer insights for continuous improvement by aligning the scope of what we're doing and looking at it from a standpoint of, okay, here's our process, here's our efficiency, and let's track that data and see if we can improve next time. So when do you use burn down charts? We have to look at it from a standpoint of, we look at burn down charts from a standpoint of how do you track your progress, how do you track your team performance, and how do you grow upon that performance each time. Scrum Masters, their role in the sprint burn down chart, they essentially bring awareness facilitation. They describe how the sprints are going and tracking the progress. If there's any obstacles that they identify during sprints, they can usually detect that early. This is a really good tool for team empowerment because it allows us to visualize, and when you start visualizing things, that's really when you start getting the buy-in. And then we have communication facilitation, right? We can address anything that is going on during these sprint issues, and we can make things transparent with our team and stakeholders. Now, we want to update our sprints, and during each update, we want to understand what is the early issue, how can we help make decision-making support, and how can we use this data to continuously evolve as leaders and organizations. So, the burn down chart, the responsibility of the product owner, essentially it's strategic planning, right? In strategic planning, we make these resources and we make them successful and give deliverables from them. We have the visibility where we offer stakeholders a transparent view of the release progress. And we can identify risk, mitigating those risks to make sure they don't impact the projects or the process or the teams. Now, the product owner's key responsibility here is leveraging that data and team estimates to reflect each burn down activity or chart. And it helps us by empowering us as product owners to make informed decisions regarding the scope and our priorities, and we can adjust that during the release of the process or project. When we update the timing and resources, we want to update this chart after each sprint or iteration within the release time frame. This can help us identify any type of milestones along the way, and we can release it for updates by giving us progress monitoring. We can tell if the scope of projects changed during the life cycle of the project, and we can have risk mitigation. Now, just to kind of sum this up, the benefits of using a burn down chart. Transparency, you bring transparency, you bring awareness. You bring awareness, you can bring change. It can use it as an effective and efficient communication tool. This helps us track progress as a team. And you can use it as a motivational tool, setting those milestones along the way, right? And we can use this to make informed decision-making decisions. And overall, this allows us to have continuous improvement. I want to thank you guys for attending this session on Burn Down Charts, and we'll see you in the next video.